Hello, everyone. This is your host, Alex Balgood, and this is Leap of Health. Today, I'm super excited because we have Wendy Myers. She's a functional diagnostic nutritionist. She's a podcaster, entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Meyer Detox. And I mean, she's just everything. And I love that. Thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking today about EMF, which stands for electric and magnetic fields. A lot of people might have heard of it, but they don't know much about it. And before we dive into that, you can tell us a little about yourself and how you came up to be the CEO of Myers Detox and come up with the solutions to most of our problems nowadays.
Yeah, well, you know what? I kind of started all with my own health issues where I just had a baby and I just wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling like myself and I was having a lot of different health issues and wasn't really satisfied with what the doctors were asking me to do. So I went on Dr. Google and started researching, the hormone issues I was having and discovered, heavy metal toxicity and chemicals. And I started my website, myersdetox.com, writing about the things I was learning about heavy metals and chemicals and detoxification. And from there, it's just kind of been on a journey moving into bioenergetics and how to heal the body through energy medicine and bioenergetics and frequencies. And then, of course, that within that conversation, you want to talk about electromagnetic fields that are coming from Wi-Fi in our computers and now 5G satellites. And, these non-native negative frequencies are very harmful to our energy field that we have. Our bodies, we have this light body, this energy body, where we have a lot of the communication that happens in our body. And these EMFs come in and kind of scramble those signals and interfere in those signals and interfere on our body's ability to function properly and communicate. And then not surprisingly, people get, anxiety and depression, immunity issues. They develop, tumors and heart palpitations and sleep issues because these EMFs scramble your brain waves, which are needed to, to feel calm and to sleep. And they scramble the waves that your heart sends out, which is why people get heart palpitations or can get heart palpitations when they're exposed to EMFs, among many other symptoms. And so it's really important for people to be aware how EMFs affect our body, how we are energy beings, and how our physical body takes direction from our energy field, primarily.
Yeah. And I like that you're talking about all these body of energy that we have. I think until maybe recently, a lot of people were like, no, we're fine. Microwaves are fine. They're not going to kill us. Our computer, our phones, we're all fine. But it was really amazing that just recently they come up with a whole study that says that, cell phones are causing brain cancer and tumors and all that. So I think now people are a little bit more open about, maybe these tools that we're using might not be the greatest for health.
Yes. Yeah. And it's, they're a necessary evil. We all want our cell phones to download movies really fast. And, we're only going to be exposed to more and more EMF. So the question really more is, there's certain people that are very electromagnetically sensitive. About 20% of the population are what are called highly sensitive people. And they're going to be far more impacted than someone who isn't, highly sensitive. But those people can limit their exposure. But for most people, I need to be in front of my computer a large part of the day. But even if you do everything to protect yourself, say you don't use a cell phone or you don't use a computer, there are still satellites. So there's slated to be about 100,000 of them blanketing the earth that are going to be beaming 5G frequencies and stronger frequencies on us. So that people around the world can get 5G, cell phone signals especially for countries where they don't have the cell phone towers and they can't afford to build out that infrastructure. Well, income stage left, here income the satellites. And so even if you take all the measures possible, you're still going to be exposed to these, even if you have, you're hardwired in your computer. So people need to have awareness of different electromagnetic fields and how they affect us, and measures and take measures to protect themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you make, because some people that are into health, or they want to do like, they want to take care of their kids and all that. It doesn't really, it's not like you have to go to the mountain and live where there's no like anything, any like no computers or cell phones or whatever. As you said, we have all these satellites that they still beaming all these 5G and EMF that it is affecting us. So it's more about what can we do to minimize it.
Yes, absolutely. And there's lots of things that you can do. I mean, you can, limit your cell phone use, or you can try to put your cell phone 3 feet away from your body, because the closer the cell phone is to your body, the more it can be interfering in you, especially interfering in your energy field. So if you every time you get a text or a call, you're getting a nice hit of EMF. So if it's like at arm's length from your body, that's, ideal. You can also put it on airplane mode when you're not using it. If you don't, you don't have to get texts and phone calls typically, and exactly when they're coming in. You can also, there's different pads. Like I have a Defender pad on underneath my computer to help absorb some of the radiation coming from my computer. I'm hardwired, so I don't have wireless internet. I have it hardwired. So I actually stick the cord into my computer. And there's lots of things like that you can do. I also have something called a Blue Shield cube. And that cube uses 3 different types of waves, scalar waves, and does a couple other things to help to scramble the EMF signal, so that anything that's coming into your home, or even from your own wireless, if you want to have wireless in your home or your office, you can use this Blue Shield cube, and that will help to protect your body or your whole home from EMF frequencies.
That's really, really cool. I like that we have those alternatives, yet we cannot take down all the satellites in the world. We can have little protective things that can make a really big difference. Especially, I know kids might get a little bit more sensitive. I know I am super sensitive with my cell phone, even when I'm scrolling to, like, if I'm looking for an email or whatever, I could feel on my hands like a burning sensation. If I have it on my hips, I wear these fanny packs, and then I just put my cell phone there. If I have my cell phone for a while, like if I go for a walk, somehow, I don't know I'm not gonna claim, yes, it's my cell phone, but most likely it could be. I start getting like hip pain. It is like the weirdest thing. So I really have to, it just, as for me personally, I have to be super aware on where do I put my cell phone? How long am I holding my cell phone? Because it is a thing, at least for me. And also when I go to bed, I can't have it like right next to me, because then I start having like a hard time to go to bed and things like that.
Yeah. Some people are very, very sensitive to them. So it's one of those things, they like, if I have my computer on my lap, on my thighs, my thighs will start burning and getting really hot, and I just don't feel well. And so, but when I put that Defender shield underneath it, that I don't have that. So these shields and these devices are protecting us.
Yeah, I really, really like that. There's a bunch of things that, we could use now. There's pendants like the ones that you have. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly does that? Because I've got the pendants. I know your company does it. A bunch of others do it for the same reason, to protect from EMF. And I have my mom and cousins like, how exactly does this work? And I'm always like, just put it on.
Yeah. So, my partner and I, we developed a pendant called the Harmony Pendant.
Yes.
And so this pendant essentially, We did a study with 100 patients and 8 different doctors, and we were able to show that when we do like a test of the person's body and get like a kind of a baseline, and then we expose them to a high EMF source, and we did another test of their heart rate variability. Mm-hmm. And so it's called HRV. It's a test of stress of their vagus nerve functioning, and all their kind of numbers in their HRV would go down. So it would worsen. And then we put this Harmony Pendant on them and had her on for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then we do another test, and we showed that their HRV rates improved dramatically, even over and above the baseline. So we're able to show that this pendant is able to kind of reduce the effects of stress. It helps to optimize the body's energy field so that people are more resilient to the stressful effects of EMF. And it also, like I said, reduces their stress as well. And so we have, if you look on our website on harmonypendant.com, we have over 1,000 reviews, people saying that they have, less stress, they're sleeping better, they have more energy, they have less pain. And it's really because this pendant is optimizing their body's energy field and giving some measure of not 100% protection from EMF, but giving, we showed on this, on average, people had a 48% protection from the stressful effects of EMF. But they also have like 160% improvement in their circadian rhythms. They had over 700% improvement in their mitochondrial energy reserves. There were just a lot of other markers that showed improvement, like their meridians, their chakras improved, the energy flow in their meridians and chakras, and just lots of other things showed improvement on the study. But most notably, the thing that most people are concerned about is EMF protection. And so, and it's great because it's something that you wear everywhere you go. So some people will, try to take some measures in their home to protect from EMF. Like they'll have like they'll sticker on their Wi-Fi router, or they'll have like a pad underneath their computer, like I do, or they'll have a sticker on their cell phone, or what have you, whatever they're doing. But when you leave your home, or you're going wherever, the pendant stays on your body, because that's the main thing you're trying to protect is your body. So the pendant goes with you 24/7 to help to reduce the stressful effects of EMF. And people say they have more energy. They're able to like stay in front of their computer all day long without getting sleepy or not feeling bad. They're able to use their cell phone more, where before it would kind of bother them. So we've gotten fantastic feedback from people. But how it works specifically is the pendant has like 4 holes in it. And so it has new geometry, new information that's sending to your body. So, so all of the, yeah, there's a pendant right there. Yeah. And so all of the EMFs and all of the frequencies emitting from our bodies, the basis of that is geometry. So geometry is what dictates the frequencies that's coming out of your body or your heart, your brain waves, or EMF. And so the pendant sends new geometrical information to your body that then changes the frequency of your body's energy field, or it changes the shape of your body's energy field. It optimizes your body's energy field. And that's essentially how it works. It's just giving your body new information. And that's essentially the basis of how it works.
That is great. And it's something that, as a pendant, as you say, you could just, take it as you go, wherever you go, in the airplane or anywhere else. I know they also have, I was looking into this little, almost like a little pocket or like a little casing for the cell phones, which I thought it was great. So, that way you don't have to have your phone, because I know a lot of, especially men, has their cell phone and they just have it on their pocket 24/7. And it really, it seems like it does not affect you in a really great way, but it does. It's affecting now the sperms or the lymphatic system and everything else that might be around your pocket pretty much. So there is a lot of things that we can do to minimize the effects of EMF, whatever, you think you would like to buy, if it's like casing for your cell phone or a pad under your computer or a pendant. I think it's very important. We take care of our body. We, eat organic, drink alkaline water and all these things. But also I think our energy body, we should take care of it too, because it will affect eventually our physical body.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it was, as far as like the Harmony Pendant, I mean, it's not 100% EMF protection. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, for sure.
I do recommend people do other things to protect their body, to take all the measures that you can. But, every little bit helps. And I think it's something they're not really paying attention to right now. I think there's more and more awareness around EMF, but people focus very much on their diet and exercise and sleep and things like that, but they don't realize these subtle effects that EMF have on them. They don't realize it's making them tired, giving them poor brain focus, anxiety, depression, poor immunity, and all these things that we show, that we see clearly in the research now. And so it's, and the EMFs have grown over the years, or the past, 10 or 20 years, the amount of EMF in our environment has grown. More and more and more cell phones, more and more cell phone towers, more and more Wi-Fi everywhere, and then stronger Wi-Fi. And so people just may become accustomed to it, but they don't realize how badly it makes them feel. It also causes weight gain as well. People don't realize that, and I talk about this a lot, weight gain isn't just diet and exercise and calories in, calories out. There are things acting on our blood sugar control, like EMF. It has a huge impact on our ability to, metabolize blood sugar and lose weight. So there's just, as far as like the pendant's concerned, it's a great start. It's an easy thing to do. And it's an inexpensive thing for people to do. If they don't know much about EMF, they're just starting out on learning about it. But I recommend the Harmony Pendant. And like I said, we have 1,000 reviews on harmonypendant.com. But Elle McPherson wears the pendant also. We have lots of influencers, health influencers that are wearing the pendant and recommending it. Lloyd Burrell, who's an expert in EMF, recommends the pendant to his clients and in his books and things like that. But I always, urge people to not be like complacent, that they need to do other things to protect from EMF and mitigate EMF in their environment as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like nothing is gonna help you 100%, whether it's the cube that you have or the mat under the computer, but it's definitely gonna help you, and it's gonna make a big impact minimizing the effects of EMF. What else do you recommend for this type of things when people have been exposed, especially if they leave? There are certain communities that they bombard them with all these 5G towers, and now there's all these health things happening. What do you recommend for all these people? Obviously, not a lot of people can just okay, let me move to near the beach or out of the city or things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it just depends. I mean, if you're in an urban environment, you're definitely going to be exposed to much more EMF than someone who's in the country. But even in the country, you're not able to escape it as much, especially as these 5G towers are going up and they're getting turned on. Like Starlink, Elon Musk Starlink just started testing in August, like just last month, in August 2021. And so we're going to see more and more of these satellite networks being turned on. So even out in the country is not going to be as, maybe safe as it once was. But if you can get a simple EMF meter. They're called a tri-field meter, and test different areas in your home. They're about $160. And so some people are very surprised that, like, say, in their child's bedroom, they have a really, really, really high reading coming from an electricity pole or cell phone tower right outside of their apartment. If, like, I've had some clients, they live in an apartment building, and there's a wall on their apartment where they're sleeping, that it's all the electric meters for all the other 20 or 30 apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And that's in a wall of their bedroom, and they wonder why they can't sleep. There's lots of examples like that, or just one smart meter, just the smart meter in your home that can send out an EMF signal 25 miles wirelessly to the electric company. If that's in the wall of your bed where your headstand is, where your head is sleeping every night, that's going to have a huge impact on your brain waves and your health and your immunity. And so people have to do a little bit of sleuthing, little detective work to figure out, if their area is just really concentrated EMFs, and they have to make that choice to either make some changes in their home or move, if that the case may be, or they can get this the Blue Shield Cube. It's not always feasible for everyone. They're $600 to $1,200 depending on the model that you get. But I urge people to start looking into this, because if people are having, subclinical health issues or even major health issues, and they're going to the doctor isn't looking at EMF as an underlying root cause. They're not looking at heavy metals and chemicals, which is another thing that I talk about quite a bit, as an underlying root cause. So you're kind of on your own to try to determine if some of your health issues and symptoms do have as an underlying root cause an EMF component to them, because your doctor will be pretty much completely clueless about that. So that's something that, from the health experts that I've talked to, if you have like mystery illness, if the doctor can't figure out what's wrong with you, you want to be looking at EMF is potentially an underlying root cause. Say if you're chronically fatigued, you're debilitated, you can't work, the doctor can't figure out what's going on with you, it might be EMF.
Yeah. So that's always good to take a look at things like that doctors never even have a clue what it is, like EMF, or even as you said, heavy metals. I know personally about 10 years ago, I had this heart thing, palpitations, all these things. And the doctor was like, you're fine. You're just having anxiety or whatever. And I end up, the good thing about it was like, no, I know there's something wrong with me. So I eventually went to my acupuncturist, and then he did like some sort of testing. He did muscle testing and other testings that he did for heavy metals. And so then I went through like a whole detox on that. And I could see right away how like I even felt super awake on just like oils and all these other things that he gave me. So it is super important that, not just stop with what the doctor's telling you. And I'm not saying doctors are bad. Some of my uncles are doctors. My mom, she's a retired nurse. So I think medicine has like a lot to offer to us, but sometimes there is things that maybe they didn't teach them in med school, or it's not their specialty or whatever. So definitely, if you're feeling that there's something wrong with your body, look for alternatives. Look around. I'm not saying go to Google doctor, but there is a lot of alternative medicine doctors that might able to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this has been amazing. Thank you for being with us today. I know we can talk about all these other things. We will talk about it in some other time for sure. Thank you for being with us today. If people want to look up all your products or ask you questions, where can they find you?
Yes, so you can find me at harmonypendant.com. But I also am on myersdetox.com. That's my little baby. That's why I started about 10 years ago. And so tons of free information there on heavy metal and chemical detoxification. Also, I talk much more about emotional detoxification as well, and EMF also. So tons of info there. And I have about 400 episodes of the Myers Detox podcast as well. We just crossed our 400th episode, so you can check me out there as well on the Myers Detox podcast.
Yes, definitely check her podcast. I know I'm subscribed to your newsletter, and all the information that you send weekly is super relevant. it's for like the whole family. You can have all these other tips that, you know, from the information that you gave us. So it's pretty amazing. So definitely she's one to go and look her up on her website and ask her questions, if anything. So that is awesome. Thank you for having us today. And thank you everybody for listening.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. I think.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy. That was awesome.
Yes.
I love
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love that you explained all that. And hopefully maybe later on we can do another podcast just with detoxifying. I think people will like that
for
too.
Sure. Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you. I know
Okay,
you're
great.
like
well, thanks for
super
having
busy.
me. Nice meeting you.
Yes, nice meeting you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.